back to the Young, Dumb, Broke podcast. I'm Young, Dumb, and Broke.
And I'm Alex!
And we're so back.
We're so back, and I feel like it gets more energetic each time. Probably because we're waiting.
It's been so long, it's like building up inside of me.
Exactly.
I just want to say it.
Exactly. Though I feel like there's going to be a point where I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the next time when we take 6 months off...
It hasn't been that long, but it's getting pretty close, it feels like.
Then you can scream at the top of your lungs.
Well, we were both sick for a little bit there. Sorry. I had an impairment of some kind. And
he was not sick.
Don't get sick.
He was not sick. They did send him home because he looked so bad.
No, I chose to listen to the person saying I should go home.
His boss said, you can't stay here anymore. But he was not sick.
Yeah, no,
he wasn't
never.
sick at all.
No.
He was gray.
No, I didn't
Alex
just magically
age.
What?
No, you were your face was gray. Your skin was gray.
And yet, look, I came out after that because we had that night out at the little game place.
Yeah, you came out and you heard about my horrible dating life, and then you gave me bad advice. No, it was good advice, but
bad and good
advice. But you had no way of knowing that it would end badly.
And yet, one of us did. Not one of us.
No.
But one of us at the table did know.
Yes, somebody anticipated it correctly.
Yeah.
Because she's a genius.
Genius is a stretch, but good intuition that we possibly haven't developed over the course of our lives as well as she has.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's growing up in Florida and you're just hit with so much all the time. But I don't know. I feel like Texas would be kind of the same vibe. You got a lot more Christian guys down there.
Maybe the ice cream isn't gonna work.
You don't. The little mochi isn't gonna work. Why? Because you're just gonna sit there and go, delicious.
But I'm so happy about it that it's almost worth it to eat on the podcast.
I mean, I think we could do a noodle slurping day or something like that. A little ASMR thrown in there.
Well, I'm gonna eat these, so you're gonna have to. Every time you see me take a bite, you have to be extra entertaining.
Well, then this is going to be a really podcast because I am definitely not the entertaining one.
You are entertaining. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit more of it.
Yeah, Alex was gray, and it was bad, but he refused to call himself sick. But we were all sick. I wasn't sick then.
No.
But I got next week. Yeah, I couldn't stop coughing.
Yeah, which is just not how you do a podcast. I mean,
yeah,
you can't just come on here and give them Coughing Simulator 2025. Stop. Now the pressure's on. I can't do this. I can't keep up. Stop laughing at me. I can't keep up. I can't do it.
Be funny, Alex.
Yeah.
I'm eating.
Go
be
around.
Funny. I can't be funny. You have to be funny.
What do you mean? Just go around. What do I say to my kids? Oh, yeah, just be good at school. Just do it. That's not how. If you just go up to your kids and you just tell them, hey, just ride the bike. I can't wait for this to work out really well for you. You're going to have bruised elbows.
How else do you tell someone to, how else do you teach somebody other than saying, go do this?
You hold them. Here's a great example. Kid on a bike.
Mm-hmm.
You give them the little tiny wheels, or the big set, depends on how you want to do it. But you give them the safety wheels, the little baby bike. And then when they get to the point where they take them off, you don't magically just say, okay, they're off, go. You got to hold them for a second so they understand that with more speed, you're not going to fall. Oh, wait, what was your first experience without your training wheels on a bike?
Without the training wheels? Yeah. My parents said, you've been on the training wheels long enough, you can ride your bike.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do it.
Did you actually succeed?
And then I did it.
You just went and went. Okay. Maybe I'm just not talented. I'll be honest.
No, my parents were probably there.
But so you just gaslit.
I'm just lying to you. But it's a better story if they weren't there.
Young Taylor coming off the tricycle, and she decided
Taylor
to
was a very nervous
herself.
creature as a child, so I would not be surprised if they had to hold me the entire way for forever.
Well, I don't know about you where you lived as a child, but I was living and learned in a place that's less than ideal. So we have roots sticking out of everywhere. The grass is growing uneven, potholes, blah, blah, blah. It's not a well-maintained road. We're not doing this cul-de-sac sort of thing. I learned with a mountain bike on grass and dirt. So that always threw in a weird element where the second you got comfortable, it's just throwing you off because you're hitting something, you're going over a route.
That's a crazy way to learn.
Yeah, but
I learned in suburbs.
Yeah, but that's what we had. I mean, I think ultimately it made me less scared because I'm not falling on concrete, asphalt, so on and so forth. But at the same time, it made it more difficult. And my driveway is super long, but it's all gravel. There is no asphalt on it because it would be a pain to keep up and pay for in the first place. So learning to go on that sort of stuff, you're kind of used to it being a little bit more bumpy. You get on the road and you're like, oh, this is kind of easy.
Yeah, life is easy when you're full of trials.
Yeah, yeah. Also, is riding a bike that hard? No, Alex, I could have just figured out. You're right. I should have just gone.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't die doing that. Speaking of things that are dead,
what kind of transition is that?
Would you rather bring back one canceled TV show, one discontinued food item, or one dead trend?
Oh, there are no trends I want to bring back because they are all cringe, and the ones that I actively do every day started as ironic, and then I still do them. Like bet was an ironic thing. I did not mean to ever say that. Cancel TV show. That gets difficult. Do you have one off the top of your head? Because I haven't actually thought about it too much.
This is your question.
I know, but I thought about it, and then I actually thought about the one that I thought of, which is Breaking Bad, but that's not canceled. That was actually finished.
No, I
thoroughly.
think that most TV shows that have been canceled that I'm like, oh man, I wish they finished this out.
Mm-hmm.
If they had finished, it probably would have sucked. Most TV shows endings are just like bad. Like they're not good. Because they just drag them on for too long.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite TV show growing up was Supernatural.
Yep.
That thing has way too many seasons.
Yep.
And they drug it out until it literally could not be drug out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Every single main character had been killed, been brought back to life, been killed, been brought back to life. Great TV show.
Yeah.
Love the TV show.
Yeah.
I had a cardboard cutout of one of the characters, Misha Collins, who played Castiel.
Okay.
And I was, it's a great TV show, but it should have died it should have died well before its time, but they couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. And I get it, but at some point it just became like fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
they literally went through the Reddit
this
forums.
No longer,
they went through the Reddit forums like,
real.
oh, actually, that's a really great idea. I'm watching Mad Men right now, and I know Mad Men is famous for its ending and being one of the best continuous TV shows.
I don't know what Mad Men is.
Yeah, so I don't know how popular it is with our generation. Did your parents ever watch like Dexter or something like that? No? Okay.
I know what Dexter is.
Yeah, so Dexter, Breaking Bad, and Dexter kind of went downhill, but all those shows kind of are considered like the Silver Age of TV. Like they happened in the early 2000s, but Mad Men is one of those that's really revered by people that watched it live as it was coming out, week after week. And I'm going to be interested to see how that one goes because everybody keeps saying it's the best, but I don't know. As to the actual question, the canceled TV show, Futurama. Because Futurama was on,
it's
off,
back
on. Is back on?
Isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's back on.
Oh, God. Is this the community thing?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure. And it had a good ending. That is one that it shouldn't be renewed, I don't think.
No.
And I've seen the newer episodes. It shouldn't have been.
The thing is...
the ending was good.
Everybody
that was a solid ending.
I think it was season 2 or 3. Everybody wanted the ending, wanted it to keep going. Then they canceled it. And then they brought it back, and then everybody was like, whoa, actually, we were yelling at you to bring it back, but this is straight booty cheeks. We don't care anymore. And then they actually canceled it again. I didn't know they brought it back one more time.
I don't know. I have no clue.
But
I remember that had been brought back. I don't know the dates of. I think it's still live.
It's possible that they brought it back, and I just wasn't paying attention.
But all I'm thinking about is they brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't have brought it back.
Yeah.
Why would you renew it again?
Well, it's one of those things that people really wanted it. They were being loud and proud about it because it was a genuinely good show.
I don't remember any discontinued food items that have any value to me, but I will say I think we should bring back the trend of dabbing.
No, stop. Taylor, stop it. Stop it. You're a grown adult. Stop dabbing on the haters. You could do it to your kids. How about that? How about we make a deal? We'll bring it back to make our kids cringe. Is
when I have children, who knows when that will be? I do have to find a man first. and Lord knows that's a problem for me. But when I have children, they're gonna think I'm so cool because like
Yeah, because you're shoving your face in the elbow. 100%. Stop. You know how much it's gonna get clipped from you doing like 3 times? Stop. There's no point in doing it anymore. It's dead. It's gone.
it's
It's
good.
over.
I want to bring it back. It brings me joy.
Why? No. The only time I do it is ironically in that office down there. I was like, oh, hey guys, I finished a project. Like,
And it's a celebratory move.
no.
It's like I just scored a touchdown.
No. If anything, nowadays they won't even do that anymore. They don't do the Heisman anymore.
Now when they score a touchdown, they go.
Well, yeah, because the NFL fines them so much, which is so stupid. Just let them celebrate, man. I don't want you wasting a whole bunch of time, but just go out and have some fun. I don't know why they got to make it a whole deal. And then they charge them if they throw the ball, which I kind of get. You could hurt somebody, but at the same time, like, let a man celebrate. Now a fan gets a ball, they can get it signed afterwards.
You know what sport they don't do that in?
Hockey?
Baseball.
No, fuck it. Yeah,
The best sport.
Yeah, but
They might actually do something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think so though.
no. The thing is, the biggest celebration I've seen is the dugout coming out. Excuse me.
And that's fun.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen them like do the Dougie or anything. Because I've seen that.
You're just not paying attention, actually.
Okay,
Because
that's
they
fair.
do celebrate.
Well, I'm not saying that they don't celebrate. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like it's as intense as the entire team coming around and doing a freaking row routine.
That's crazy. When a grand slam, all bases loaded, someone hits a home run.
That's fair.
Happens. They're celebrating.
That's
No
fair.
one's walking around being like, "Yeah, I just hit a grand slam," and then
Yeah, that is fair. That is rarer
They are
than a
celebrating.
touchdown is, though.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just saying the normal occurrence of a game. I mean, I don't see as much celebrating as I do every single time they score a touchdown on either side.
Yeah, but it's
So wait, hold
when
on.
it
So
does
yeah, I'm
happen,
right.
It's like
Wait,
sweet.
yeah, I'm right.
It's like
Did you
sweet
just
and
remind me?
but no,
Remind
because
me? Wait,
usually
hold on,
they
am I right?
don't do it. They do that. You said there's less to celebrate over. There's less hype. That's not true.
That's
There's
fair
even
enough.
more to celebrate over.
I think that's fair enough. It's a mischaracterization on my part, but also grand slams are so rare that the very
They're not
few
that
times that
rare.
I go. What do you mean? When's the last time you remember seeing a game with more than 2 grand slams?
Okay, I don't remember seeing a game with more than 2 grams.
Yeah,
grand slams.
give me one that has 2 in it within the last like 5 years. I can think of clips that I've seen. Yeah, hold on. Oh, it's ticking. Oh, she's thinking.
I'm not good at these things.
She's thinking. No, I mean neither am I. I'll be honest. I don't sit there and watch all the baseball highlights, so I could be totally wrong.
I do.
If we
I do sit there and watch all the baseball highlights.
No,
I'm
really?
not even
For
kidding.
the Rangers?
Well, no, when it comes not just the Rangers. Whoa,
What?
the Rangers?
Isn't it the Texas Rangers? Am I
For
crazy?
the Rangers?
Yeah, isn't it the Texas Rangers?
I'm from Houston.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck, I don't.
It's the Astros.
Oh my god.
It's the Astros.
What? God,
How
I'm gonna
dare
bleep
you?
I'm going to bleep
How
it.
dare you?
Boy, get over yourself, you Texan. I don't know.
That's crazy.
All I know is that the Nats are going to the...
You're stressing me out. I'm going to eat more ice cream.
No, come on. You don't need to eat more mochi. You're giving them a brand deal. They didn't even pay us for this.
I don't have a...
Yeah, I have a brand deal. Yeah, I know you don't have a brand deal because we don't have a brand deal.
I don't have a brand on here. They don't even know who it is.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, then don't advertise for emoji. We could get paid for that.
No, we can't.
Yeah, we could put their logo on it in post. Okay. We've done enough goofing around. We've gotten Taylor angry about the Astros versus the Rangers versus the other team in Texas that probably
Do not
exists.
say the Yankees. I'll kill myself.
The Yankees
Live
don't-
on screen.
First, I'm now going to bleep that too because YouTube doesn't like that.
I'll
and
kill you, too.
And the Yankees aren't in Texas, so I don't think I can make that much of a mess up or a screw up in this one. So we talked about our sickness, but we didn't talk about what happened more recently this last weekend. So give me a breakdown of what you did on Easter, or not necessarily a breakdown, but holiday check-in, a little bit of a little recap.
Easter,
Mm-hmm.
the best holiday. I love Easter. Easter is my
Mhm.
favorite holiday of all time. Like, there is not a better holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Second favorite is 4th of July.
Okay.
I feel very strongly about Easter and the 4th
Mhm.
of July, and
Mhm.
also Christmas. Christmas is my third favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But Easter was great. It was basically a normal Sunday for me. We did a sunrise hymn sing with
Mhm.
some friends at church from church on the tidal basin. So we watched the sunrise come up over the Jefferson Memorial, and
That's
we
really cool.
we sang hymns.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to breakfast after that, and then from there we went to church. From church we went to lunch.
Mhm.
From lunch we went back to church, which is a normal Sunday. Like for
Mhm.
me, Sunday looks like church, lunch, church again.
Yeah.
And it was very sweet. Like I can't like that the ordinary, like, not that there's anything ordinary about Jesus coming back from the grave,
Yeah.
which is the most amazing thing ever in the entire world. But like like my church is a non-liturgical church, so we celebrate Easter in the same way that we would celebrate any Sunday. Every
Mhm.
Sunday is Resurrection Sunday. Jesus is alive every Sunday. And so we had a like completely normal Easter. Like it
Mhm.
was like Easter was like every other Sunday. And for me that like it's so precious. Like
Mhm.
I like Sundays are the most precious day, and like the added joy of it's Resurrection Sunday is
Mhm.
just like, I don't know, it was very sweet. So
Well, your guys' church is one of the most persistent in practicing throughout the course of a Sunday, and at least that I've seen in DC, of fully dedicating the day. Now, not everybody has to participate in the same way, but the way you talk about it, it sounds like everybody's right there with you, right
that's
alongside
true.
you.
My church, well, for as big of a church as we are,
Mhm.
the amount of people that spend 6 hours out on a Sunday
Mhm.
there is
Yeah.
is really impressive.
Does it lean younger, or like do families stay?
It's mixed. Yeah. Families, young people,
Yeah,
older people.
my church when I grew up was not that way. You know, the kids would come in, they would do their classes, the adults would do their classes, and then middle of the day drags a little bit after the last time, and then it was like youth group after that. But like that period between 3 to 5, it maybe we're setting up a donation drive or something like that. There's small activities like maybe once a month, but it doesn't have that same consistency where there's always something going on in between that, through 2 to 5 o'clock time when everybody comes back for youth group.
Yeah, so there isn't like everyone goes home in between services and then you go do your own thing. I go to lunch and then I come back and hang out sometimes with like other groups of people, like
Mhm.
depending on the week. So I'm like always with church people, but I'm not necessarily always like, there's not like planned church things.
Okay.
But it's like it's 10:30 to 12:30, but it actually normally goes until 1.
They just hold you over a little bit.
At 12:30 if if Pastor Mark is feeling generous and letting us out.
Mhm.
And if there's no baptisms or
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
or communion. So it's like that's 2.5 hours, and then you have a break,
Mhm.
and then you come back at 5 for another hour and a half.
I want to touch on one thing you said in that entire beginning part, and I forgot to mention
It is
it.
the best holiday.
So you say, but you also said that you
Unequivocally.
you choose to act like every Sunday is Easter Sunday.
It's true.
So why wouldn't it be possibly overrated or just, rated in your mind? I don't understand. I'm not saying that Easter isn't important. I feel like Easter's perfectly rated. When you said it's underrated, I don't know about that, Chief. I feel like we give it a lot of venerance here in the United States. The federal government still gets off, and I know that may not seem like a big deal.
The federal government doesn't get off.
Did they not get off for Good Friday?
No.
Interesting. So then why were all of my friends, my one friend who currently lives with me, not in the office on Friday saying it was because of
They
Good Friday?
can choose to get it off. Like offices can choose. I worked on Good Friday.
Oh. See, that's even more interesting. That's an interesting wrinkle. We should definitely have it installed in law.
I agree.
I still think that it is just rated. The amount of people that I see excited about Easter Sunday, whether it be because of the chocolates or the egg, whatever it may be. I'm not saying any of those reasons are actually the true reason that you should care about Easter. It is something where everybody, even if you're a cradle Catholic and you don't go to service every single week, you're going to be there on Easter because that's how much venerance we have for it in our culture.
But it's okay. So
But
Easter.
I'm right. That's what she said. Thank you.
No.
I appreciate it.
So Easter is the most important holiday because of what it's celebrating, not necessarily because of the day itself, which I think is like the difference between a 4th of July and a Christmas is like a lot of times it's about the day. Like even Christmas, which is about Jesus' birth, is like Jesus' birth means nothing without Jesus' death and resurrection. Like the reason that I'm a Christian, the reason I'm saved today is because Jesus Christ died for my sins and then was resurrected 3 days later. And so like as great as Christmas is, I think a lot of times Christmas has become so much less focused on like Christ and so much more on everything else. I think it's like way over commercialized. And Easter, like really the only point of Easter is Christ came, died, and he lives again, and now we all get to live with him. And so yes, I celebrate the resurrection every Sunday because it's the most important thing in the world. It's the only thing that matters. But even more than that, like to have one Sunday where like the whole culture has to remember that, because I celebrate it every Sunday, but as you're right, most people don't. And so like to have that reminder built into the culture is such a beautiful thing. And it's an extra layer of gratitude. It opens up more conversations. I had conversations with my coworker who isn't a believer about what Easter means to me. And I also got to talk about like, this is every Sunday for me. Every Sunday I celebrate that Jesus Christ came. And I wouldn't have been able to have that conversation with him if it wasn't for the fact that he is forced to go to Easter Mass on Easter Sunday with his fiance. And so it's like that Easter opens up special conversations. It opens up, it's like a whole different side of gratitude that I get to have. And so even though I celebrate the resurrection every Sunday, like Easter Sunday is extra special because it leads to more opportunities for all of these evangelisms and more opportunities for people to hear the gospel. And it's also when a lot of people get baptized. Like lots of churches do baptisms on Easter, and like that's a beautiful thing. It's just like heaven celebrates when we are all celebrating Christ's resurrection. And so when the world gets to do that together, that's a really beautiful thing. And I can't think of a day that is better than that. Like 4th of July is great. I'm so grateful for my country. That's what I'm the reason I like 4th of July is very similar to the reason I like Easter. It's because it invokes so much gratitude that it grabs my heart and makes me want to rip it out of my chest and for my country and for my God. You know what I mean?
The blood stained with my red.
You know,
sorry.
Like the red, white, and blue
flag
is within me. But
you're almost there. You're wearing red. You're wearing the blue and the white.
The red is inside.
Yeah, but then you have
Do you
to
want to see it?
No, stop. No, please don't. I would rather you eat mochi than do that part.
Okay.
Please stop. But Easter this year, it did evoke a conversation that I didn't necessarily see coming with my significant other. We talked about how we want to raise our kids, because obviously we're different denominations, and she's not too picky about it. I'm not too picky about it. We obviously have differences in perspective, but we're respecting of those perspectives. But when it comes to raising the kids, obviously we can't say, okay, you're going here, 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 and we're going to take you to all different three churches, 2 churches. There needs to be stability. There needs to be consistency. And even if one of us doesn't fully agree with the perspective, it's to us, it is less about ensuring that you get 100% right, and it's that you get 99.9% in a church, in a community that actually gives you a solid foundation to actually make a choice that will bring you closer to God. And I think the example of Cradle Catholics is a really good one. A lot of them don't necessarily understand, and I'm going to use that term I used earlier, they don't have the venerance for the church like they should, because it simply feels like it is a operation of the day. They go through it and then they check off these boxes. Not everybody's like this, but a lot of Cradle Catholics that I know are like this. So having that foundation enables you to explore further if you so choose, without necessarily being overly pushy in that direction. And of course, I want my kids to know God, but the only way that they're going to be saved is if they make the choice to open their heart. So that's why I think that conversation was important to have. And I do agree that Easter evokes those sort of small conversations in our case, and the even broader ones of why we're here and why we are lucky enough to continue living on this earth,
Yeah.
even though we're fallen creatures.
And
So.
it's like, if my whole life is pointed towards wanting to have those conversations more,
Mm-hmm.
then of course I'm gonna be so
On
excited
the
for
day of, it's
Easter
like, oh God,
every
I get to have
single
it with
time,
everybody.
where it's like, it's finally acceptable for me to talk about how much I love church.
They finally won't
And
go, oh, Taylor.
It's like the one Sunday where everyone's like, yeah, I guess I have to go to church, and I'm like, yay, we all get to go to church. Yay!
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And so it's good. It's precious. It's a sweet time, and I there is nothing more valuable to me than in my life than my love for Jesus Christ and His love for me. And the more I get to talk about it, the better. And Easter's a great way to do that. And 4th of July, also, you'd be surprised. Also, a great evangelism tool. I talk about how much I love my God and my country, and everyone's like, "Yes, God and country" on 4th of July, and it's like, "Okay, great. Now let's talk more about God."
Are you a secret? No, not even a secret. You're an open evangelist, but you're being tricky. I see what you're doing here.
Is this
Taylor.
a surprise to you?
No, but
If you look
on
if you reflect on
I
on
know
our
it.
conversations and on my character,
yes.
you'd be like, "Oh, wait a second.
No, I already know
Taylor's always doing
it.
this."
But you don't need to
Taylor
make
never
it
stops.
so. You don't need to make it so explicit, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's implicit in the way that you act, and that's why people don't notice it. When you make it explicit, they get a little. Some people get a little.
So I can open on 4th of July. It's like, it's normal for me to be like, "Let's go, God and country, guys." Right? Say it with me, guys. God and country, and they're like, "Yes, God and country," and I'm like, "Okay." So that first part, let's talk about that.
Guns and country.
God,
yeah,
God,
let's go.
yes, let's talk about God.
I can't wait to see you on the massive event that hopefully you will be coming to. We'll see. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. I can't wait to see you out there not doing what you previously did and being able to enjoy it.
He's talking about a gigantic 4th of July soiree, which I don't know why he's talking about so vague, but I ran it last year, and I don't work at this organization anymore, so I won't be at that. I won't be have to work it, but I'm gonna come visit, and I'm gonna talk so much about God and country. Alex, you're gonna be like, "Who is this woman?"
Are you going to take up a slot on stage? All right, guys. So I know we were talking about all this
A campaign
political
speech.
over there. No,
I'm gonna sign up for a campaign
no,
speech.
You can't. Please don't. It's going to make life so complicated. Don't do it. We're not allowed to do it. Yeah, we're not allowed. There is no if and or buts about it. Not allowed. Not allowed. From what I understand, it explicitly being called that, I'm pretty sure is straight up not allowed. Like, you can
I'm not actually campaigning for anything. I'm not
You're
filed for anything.
what do you mean? You're campaigning for God always, Taylor.
Yeah. Well, every day is a campaign. I'm basically out here door knocking.
I mean, actually, yeah, that's what this is. They're just knocking on people's phones instead. Just like, hey guys, hey, open up.
You want to talk about
Open up.
God and country, specifically the first part?
Okay, I think we've talked a lot about Easter. Anything else you wanted to cover before we move on to section?
Yeah,
number
if you
2/3?
haven't repented and trusted in Jesus Christ, you should do that.
And if you're a Catholic, go to confessional, please. Okay. I know someone.
And if you're a Catholic, repent and believe in Jesus Christ, please.
In theory, a majority of them already have.
That's good. I'm
Majority.
glad they have.
Yeah, but
I'm glad they
don't
have.
forget your. I'm
and
not
if
a
you were
Catholic, but don't
and
forget
you
your,
haven't
don't
done
forget your confessional, please.
that. Okay.
I'm speaking to one specific person. I'm looking at you. You know exactly who you are. Do not forget your confessional. Okay, sorry. Moving on to something that is much more mundane and a little bit more real worldy. So, in DC, you very often get people reaching out for job opportunities, especially in the place that I was interacting with a lot of younger people. I get the, hey, can you provide me with a few lists of jobs? Do you know anybody who's looking? So on and so forth. But also, in general, there are going to be people throughout your life that are always going to reach out, that you've met at conferences, that you've worked with previously. Maybe they're going to be offering you something. Maybe they're going to be asking something. This segment's meant to focus on how much energy, effort, time do you actually owe somebody. And of course, there are variations to this. If it was my father, yeah, Dad, we'll try to find you a job in DC because I owe him my life and much more. But in general, what are the good rules for establishing how much energy you should give? why, so on and so forth. So if I'm an old classmate of yours from college, what do you think is appropriate if I say, hey, Taylor, trying to break into politics, don't really care what party, just trying to get into like consulting or whatever? How much time and effort, what do you think is appropriate to do to help that
I
person?
actually had this happen to me twice recently.
Really? Okay.
One of them now works here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked about it earlier.
And she's someone who, like, I went to school with at Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like friends there, and then we just stayed in contact, just like loosely stayed in contact. And then I had told her about this job a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it just happened to be reopened. And so she texted, was like, hey, I see this job is open, like, can you like
Make
put a
the
good word for
intro,
me?
yeah.
Can you like tell me more about it? Is it something that I would like? And I told her, that's a great team. I love that team. That's my favorite team ever.
Good team. Go team.
It is,
Best team.
and the team she's working on is my favorite team.
Yep, that makes sense.
Openly,
Yep,
everybody
yep,
knows
yep,
this about me.
yep.
They know it too. I tell them this all the time. And I was like, this is a great team. I'll put in a good. I'll like
Mm-hmm.
tell them that I know you.
Mm-hmm.
Told them that I know her. And then on the other side of this, I actually had someone reach out that she's someone who I've known, and I
Mhm.
helped her. I actually had someone reach out from Texas State University,
Mm-hmm.
which is a college I went to 3 years ago. He is not someone that I know. We might have a couple of mutual people, but and he's working for a congressman in Texas' office who is kind of, I would call him a moderate.
Mhm.
He's technically a Republican. He just lost his reelection, but the Republicans kind of are like, a lot of Republicans will look at him and be like, I don't know if I would call that conservative. And this guy reached out, who is currently interning in this guy's office, and he was like, can I just like ask you some questions?
Mm-hmm.
So I met with him for a quick coffee, and he asked me some questions, and I gave him some advice. And the biggest pieces of advice that I gave to him, which is something that you actually mentioned when you asked this question, was I was like, do you know what you believe in? Like, why are you in politics?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm in politics because I like am interested in being in this city, and I'm interested in like specific things, but I don't really have a party that I affiliate with.
Mm.
And my piece of advice was immediately, you need to figure that out now. Like,
Interesting.
like, this is not the kind of place, like, there's two things that people look at. There's three things people look at when they're trying to hire.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, what do you care about?
Mm-hmm.
What is your character?
Mm-hmm.
And what is your energy? Like, are you positive or are you negative?
Mm-hmm.
And you can hire someone who has good energy and a good work ethic and is really smart, but if they lack character,
Mm-hmm.
and if they don't know what they believe in, why they're doing their job, especially in this city,
Mm-hmm.
that is not someone that you want to hire. That is someone who is dangerous. That is someone who is unwise. That is someone who is looking for the wrong things in the city. And so I told him, I was like, if you don't know why you're here in this city and you're just here because it's cool to work in politics, you need to go find another job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you shouldn't be here.
Mm.
And if you don't know what party you align with, or what your core values are,
Mm-hmm.
or what you believe in so strongly that you have a reason to be here, you shouldn't be here. And he's like, okay, I'll be thinking about that. And I was like, yes, you should be thinking about that. And I think it's okay to be young and to not know for sure where you align or who you align most with, or what your values are yet, and to be figuring that out. I think when I started in DC, I was not as conservative as I am now. I was pretty conservative, but I think I've gotten more conservative as I've grown in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame anybody who like comes to the city and is still learning a lot about what it means to be progressive, or what it means to be conservative, or what it means to be, a run-of-the-mill Democrat or a run-of-the-mill Republican, or like where you fall into that. I don't blame anybody for not immediately knowing, because there's a lot that goes into all of that. But if you are still working here and you're really just trying to job hop, and you're like, I can work for a Democrat, I can work for a Republican, I can work for someone far right, I can work for someone far left, I don't really care, I just want a job. I think that it says a lot about your character,
Mm-hmm.
and I would never hire someone who just like doesn't care like that.
I would. I'm probably 70 to 80% there with you. I think the job hopping between Democrats and Republicans, the question is, at that point is, are you so good at what you do, and are you so agnostic about the policies, but simply you're trying to make a buck? At that point, you're a consultant. You're not actually there for policy in general. The carve out I leave is for, and obviously you mentioned this, it's that you have that one issue that you care so much about that it doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. Like if you are a conservationist, there are plenty of Republicans who are all about conserving our lands, making sure that this is in our country's legacy for our children, grandchildren, so on and so forth. And there are Democrats who obviously want to protect the environment too. You can carve out that lane without ever having to care about political affiliation. You can vote one way one year. It doesn't actually affect your job as long as you have that core issue. But the thing that goes along with that is DC is also a place where there's something for everybody. If you love ducks and birds, I'm sure there's a lobbying group that protects certain types of Maynard ducks. Okay, if you are really, really, really want to get into election law and you think that this is the way, I'm sure that there's a nonprofit or a lobbying group or a law firm that you can go work at and carve out a special lane for it. If you're a libertarian here, libertarianism thrives here, or at least I take that back. Libertarianism has such a big foothold here simply because it's one of the places where politics is the most affecting of people's lives, and therefore the libertarians come here to make some sort of difference. You just have a higher density. Even though I would say there are more libertarians outside of DC, you're going to feel like you run into more of them here, especially on one side of the aisle rather than the other. But because all of these policy special interest groups and special, I would say the unique ideologies or temperaments of different groups, you're going to just find more of them. So give yourself a little bit of time, but she's right. Pick a lane.
Yeah, and I think that if libertarian is your lane, that's a fine lane to be in.
Yeah.
I work for a libertarian. He's a conservative libertarian,
Yeah.
but I work for a libertarian, and that's a fine lane to be in. He's a small libertarian. He's actually a Republican, but if you're gonna be in the libertarian lane, don't pretend like you're a Republican or pretend like you're a Democrat. Like if you're a conservative libertarian, be a Republican. If you're a progressive libertarian, be a Democrat. If your policies align, like that's fine. Go work for those people, or don't work for either of them. Like don't bounce between offices.
Can you be so sorry? I'm
yes,
with
you can. Yes,
but what,
by definition, yes, you can.
So, but yeah, I understand.
You can be a progressive libertarian.
I understand what you're thinking, and I'm clarifying as to what I think you're thinking. So, progressive in social issues while being libertarian in government issues, because progressive is normally associated
that's
with.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yes.
Because they're normally associated.
But
with,
I also
like,
think that a lot of people that call
governments.
themselves libertarian aren't actual libertarians, especially progressive libertarians.
I would agree. I feel like, yeah, but the social aspect gets tricky because I think progressives, that their general framing is progress of a society rather, and then if that requires government, that's besides the point. The point being, look at that. There's an entire group of people who will sit down and have those conversations with you if you're trying to figure it out and weed around, especially in DC.
But my problem with this guy wasn't that he was calling himself a libertarian.
Yeah.
My problem with this guy was that I think he's a nice kid. I think he'll figure himself out. He's just new to DC, new to politics. But my problem wasn't that he was a libertarian and was just like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know I don't know if I'm a Democrat or Republican. Yeah. My problem was that he was genuinely like, I don't really have any strong beliefs. I don't really care about any of this stuff. I just want to work in politics. And it's that's is the opposite of libertarianism. Let me tell you, that's not an in the middle. That is I don't want to pick because I just want to be able to coast.
In this city, in most professional jobs in general, you have to be as solid as the monuments. You have to be able to stand up against the weather, and you have to believe in something so that when everything tries to push you off of your position, what you believe in, erode you, you can stand tall. There are moments for obviously going with the flow. There are moments for conciliation or even negotiation between parties.
Yeah.
But you have to have some sort of belief that enables you to have a strong backbone in these sort of
Yeah,
places.
I just don't know why you would want to work in politics if you just don't have an opinion.
Well, I can.
I
give
don't
you,
know a reason why you'd want to work in politics that is a a good reason to want to work in politics.
I can still give you plenty of quote unquote good reasons, but we'll save that for
like
not.
I feel like it's not a
Yeah, I think you and I would sit
it's
there
not
and say,
altruistic.
yeah, that's fair. That if
That's
you
what I mean
if
by good
if
reason.
if a moral reason.
I don't think there's not a
Or
morally good reason to
upstanding, because I don't necessarily know if it's amoral to want to make money for yourself and your family, but it's misguided. That's how I would describe that.
yeah. There's no
So,
altruistic reason for
yeah.
you to be in politics and
Mm-hmm.
not care about these things and
Which
not
is
to have that.
yeah, which is
And that's a piece of character that like I
no,
can't.
that's the
someone
deepest
can't
irony
have.
of this system, which is everybody that's in this town, in the biggest theory, should be looking out for not just themselves, not just the state, not just the government, but every other citizen that they can. And obviously, that's super high minded. I don't know how actually
I
we can do
also,
that, but
if people reach out and I don't want to talk to them, I just ignore their email.
yeah,
Not
that's a
if
good
it's
one.
like they're like trying to schedule something that's
Yeah.
with not me,
Yeah.
but if it's like somebody who is just like, hey, I saw you on LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
and I
Oh,
have
you
no
got a
connection to
promotion.
you.
What do you know?
Do you want to
about
get
this?
coffee? Or like someone reached out recently and said something about how it was like some weird connection, and she was like, anyways, do you want to get coffee? And I was like, I am just not going to respond. And if
Mhm.
she had followed up, I would have responded.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't follow up, I'm like, I have no,
Obviously, she just sent it as an errant
don't need
message
a-
rather
yeah.
than a serious concern.
I don't need a like my bandwidth doesn't need to control that right now.
Well, the other reason I thought this was good to put in there is I also had someone within the last week reach out to me, and this is one of my students who I knew from campus. I had offered him the opportunity to come work in the same region as me back in the day, and then I also said, well, hey, you could apply for this job over at a different organization, a sister organization, not sister, another partner organization of ours. And he had school. He has mandatory military duty that's gonna come up in a little bit. So he was fleshing all of that out. But he reached out recently, and after all that time, he said, "Hey, do you still have that job you offered me? And do you still have the opportunity to get me in front of the decision maker for that job, essentially?" And I said, "I don't work in the same place, at least not in the same department, but let me go find out." And this guy is one of the nicest guys that I know. He's met practically everybody on that floor that's been there more than a year and a half, so it was easy to toss his name around. And in this case, there wasn't a job for him, but I spent as much time as I could looking. I said, hey, look out for this opportunity coming in the future, especially as you're going out of May, because that's when people drop off. And then I didn't actually follow up on the next thing I said I was going to do, which I will do after today, which is send him conservative postings on from a website that we both know, Conservative Jobs. No, I stop it. Keep it away from me. There's a good moral to this story, which is when you leave a good impression, people will go and above and beyond for you. And they just because they don't come through for you doesn't mean that there's a problem. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means that maybe the opportunity's not there and they want you to be able to stop. It looks so good. Stop. I already had some weird chocolates earlier today. I can't be having, no.
It's
Taylor?
magical.
No. Oh, okay. You want to start the word association game? Perfect. Magical.
These.
No, I don't want mochi. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. You're just trying to make
Fine.
me fat. If only we were doing fatty.
Fat. Fat.
Stack.
Pancakes.
Syrup.
Butter.
Plate.
Fork.
Knives.
Stab.
Michael.
Don't.
Yell.
Help.
Scream.
Kill.
Bleep.
Uh-oh.
Ow.
Oopsie.
Blub, 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 blub.
Fish.
Nemo.
Dory.
Ellen.
Gay.
Portia.
More gay.
Pause for a second. Your prediction came true, by the way.
What?
That she was going to give in the news for something not good.
What did you get in the news for?
Yeah, apparently so.
For context, I predicted a few months ago that months ago, many months ago,
yeah.
I predicted that Ellen DeGeneres would re-enter the news cycle for something, and I didn't say if it was going to be good or bad. I just let it be hanging like that. Ellen DeGeneres was going to come back into the news cycle. What happened?
There are accusations that she was involved in some sort of Epstein adjacent thing, and that's why they fled. They fled to England because they didn't want to deal with repercussions here. Those are the accusations. But regardless of the accusations and like the theories, she made it back into the news cycle. So I mean, you were right.
That's really funny because off camera, I said, I wonder if I said, I'm going to make this prediction, but my actual prediction, she might be in the Epstein files. But I do not know that, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that I do not know if Ellen DeGeneres is in the Epstein
nothing's
files.
proven in a court of law. There haven't been like exposed emails so long that it's hard to go through.
But I did predict that she would be back in the into the news cycle.
Now we just need an AI company to fail. I'm waiting. Hopefully it's not the one I own shares in.
It's coming.
Yeah, I think it's going to be OpenAI, but that's just my personal opinion. You want to go back to also, if we didn't really give it a proper intro, we were playing a word association game simply because it's silly and it leads to fun moments like blah, 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 blah. So you want to do one more round? Okay. Did you go first last time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go first this time. Camera.
Alex.
Robot.
Alex.
AI.
Alex.
Workaholic.
Alex.
Sad.
Aww. Aww. Tear.
Taylor.
Funny.
Mikhail.
That's such a nice. You should keep that in because he's gonna like that. That was
That's
sweet.
fair. Yeah,
that was sweet.
Okay, we'll pick up from there. Miguel.
Conservative.
Baptist.
Church.
Methodist.
Yuck. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm not.
Cranberry sauce.
You don't like cranberry sauce?
No,
Pause.
I hate cranberry.
Pause. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Are you dumb?
No, just slightly offended by really tart, disgusting things. Especially are supposed to make Thanksgiving good, and yet they don't. Yeah, you heard me. Get that cranberry sauce off my table. What you gotta say about that?
Do you think that God made you without taste buds, or do you think that he made you without taste?
I think he made me with a well-developed, rational brain that can tell when is... God, I'm going to have to censor it, and it was about to be a great point. Gosh darn it. When stuff is so nasty that it shouldn't be in the human body.
Cranberries are fantastic.
Nope, cranberries are literally the worst.
I eat cranberries almost every day.
That's so sad for your stomach, taste buds, and possibly your liver, depending on how many you eat. No.
Well, my body's got other things going on. I don't need to worry about that.
The only type of cranberry that I would consume on a regular is a cran apple, cran grape, cran variety of something. They're too bitter for me. Not a fan. Not at all.
Dried cranberries?
I don't think I've had those in probably
They're like candy.
years.
They taste like candy.
I don't think I've had them in years. So
they're really good.
Well, maybe next time you bring
cranberry.
Them on. Commercial.
Death.
Graveyard.
Commercial.
Cadillac.
Mr. Clean.
Bald.
Love.
Affection.
Shiny.
Torrance.
I don't know what that word means.
You said shining. You said shiny, and I heard shining. And Jack Torrance is the main bad guy in The Shining, the movie, one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Never seen it. I have missed out on many things in life.
What about Here's Johnny? You know that?
I do not know that.
Oh my gosh, Taylor. Taylor, how can you come after me for Cranberries when you haven't experienced one of the greatest horror movies of all time?
I think that I experience things better than you, so I can experience less and also experience more at the same time.
That's a really interesting point, and I'd love to go into it, but let me ask a more general question. Why is it that so many conservatives don't watch scary movies?
I think a lot of us are more sensitive people by nature. And that's what makes us have such strong beliefs.
Fascinating. I don't know if I fall into that category or not. Because of those two, like the correlation between those two things. Either one of those two things can't be true. I just don't know. I know for
I
some
think
part
that
of it.
people will say that it has religious sources, like the reason they don't do it. And I think that's a cop-out answer. I think the actual reality is partially because we're so religious, our hearts are softened to horrors. But I think it's also true that like a lot of us that are so deeply religious or so deeply conservative hold such like our hearts, like we are just sensitive people by nature. We care so deeply about things because we are so sensitive, and like the Lord has made us that way. And I think that people with that disposition are going to like horror less.
That's a fact. We should have this conversation more not on here because I have plenty of counter theories. But the one thing I do agree with is the religious argument gets me sometimes because I'm like, no, you just don't want to watch it. Christ.
Savior.
Bloody.
Pain.
Jason.
Jason?
You don't know any of the horror.
That's my father's name.
Okay, my bad. Freddy.
5 Nights.
Animatronics.
Singing.
Acapella.
Stage.
Guitar.
It's bad.
Cranberry.
How dare you say that about cranberries?
They're asking you know.
Take it back! Take it back!
No, I'm not taking it back.
I love cranberries.
Yeah, you should love the Lord more. Okay, stop putting earthly.
Okay, I have a trivia question for you.
Okay, what's up? This has gone a little bit crazy over the last little bit.
So we have 2 friends.
We have more than that, but yeah.
We have 2 friends that just got engaged.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And they're planning a wedding.
Can
Can you tell me where they met?
Not for certain, but give me a second. I'm pretty sure, though they may have already been talking before this. I'm pretty sure it's her friends, his employee, that's the same person, the shower for their child. I'm pretty sure that's where the
That's really good
conversation
memory.
started.
Gender reveal party.
Oh, dang, it's close, but not exactly.
Can you tell me where they went on their first date?
No, I literally have no clue. I don't think I've ever talked to him about it, or her for that matter. I don't think I've ever talked to him about it.
So you don't have a desire to be curious about your friends that love you and that you love and that are getting married and celebrating that?
Well, let me put it this way.
Hold on,
Taylor. Let me put it this way. I'm gonna be so happy when they announce that they're having their first child. I'm not gonna ask them where they had it, where they conceived it.
Well, that's
yeah,
weird.
okay, yeah,
right.
yeah. My point is.
Okay, where did they get engaged?
That is at the Ferry of the Harper.
Good. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, the story was so cute, and they told us we were waiting at the door, and I was like, "Come here." So yeah.
Yeah. All right. And why was that place important? You should know this because they told you the story.
They did.
You just
and it's
because
I think it's because their first date was there, if I'm not mistaken. But
that's where you asked her out.
oh shoot!
You don't really care about them. You're not a good friend. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't wait until somebody else gets engaged in the friend group, and I'm gonna bring this back. But I'm probably gonna make them a little bit harder because you do know people really well, and you care so intensely that you listen way
That
better
is
than I
true.
do. Yeah.
But it's not because I listen better. It's just because I it matters more to me.
Mm.
But not like it doesn't matter to you. It's just like different things matter to you.
No,
You know?
I will readily admit that where their first date materially has no effect on my life, and I'm happy that it went well for them. I'm happy about the result of it rather than where it was. Like, oh, okay, you had Italian food, great. Did you guys like hug afterwards? Like that sort of thing. Are we on the way to babies? Like that. That's the stuff that actually matters. Are my kids gonna have somebody to play with? Like that's what matters. Okay, joy of the week. We're at that time. We didn't actually do our frustrations. I think that's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, this is a good week. We have a good reason to be happy.
It's true.
Do you want to do yours first?
My joy of the week. You'll be shocked to hear it. Did you hear the good
imagine.
news?
Oh, what good news?
Jesus is alive.
He has risen.
He has risen. He has risen indeed, Alex.
What does that mean? He has risen. Do you remember that from back on Vine? Yeah, it was so good back in the day,
Yeah,
bro.
like, I have no clue what you're talking about. The fact that you went, yeah,
Bro,
anyway.
it was like
Bro, it was so good.
good.
He has risen and it was so good,
That-
bro. You don't understand. He has risen and it was so good.
That was the OG
so
brain
good.
rot of like, if you didn't get it, you got it. It was funny. That's what Vine was, and it was great. But that meme, maybe I should look up a video and show you. Maybe I should but actually, there's too much work. I'm not gonna put one in here. But I agree. He has risen. And
He's
we
risen.
all
That's
have
my
a reason to
joy.
be happy.
That's my joy of every
Mhm.
week, but it's especially my joy this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be my joy next week.
Mm.
And it'll be
Mhm.
my joy the week after that.
So we have to record in 3 weeks so you can have a different joy. That's what I'm hearing.
It'll be my joy then too.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can change it up on camera, and then next year you can leave room for me to say it. How about that? Is that
Maybe.
fair? Maybe.
You could also say it this time.
I could, but I'm gonna be much more yay me focused because
you are self-centered and you hate the Lord. I see how it is.
yeah, you can try to guilt me into this, but I already mentally prepared my statement. So
All right.
yeah, there's
Let's
this
hear it.
one place that I was looking at to get a new apartment, trying to change up life a little bit, expand, grow, and we toured it. And then afterwards, they said you can get it for this amount of time, 15-month lease. Said, oh, that's great. I went back at the end of the weekend. We said, this is the place. This is where we're gonna be. And they said, oh, sir, actually, the 15-month option is no longer on our website. We don't even see it on our quoting machine anymore. I said, well, this is a problem. Me signing this is completely contingent on you allowing me a 15-month lease because I am not getting out in May again and dealing with all this intern, everybody coming off of college looking for jobs, crazy busy market where everything is super expensive and all of the features that you want or all of the necessities within your house that you want. Sorry, I hate that they're calling them homes nowadays. In your apartment that you want are getting snapped up real quick on the market. So I guess I'm going to leave. And they said, well, hey, if we find any information, we'll email you back. Guess who didn't email me back? They didn't. So I called them again this morning and I said, hey, did you figure it out? And they said, no, but we'll get you all sorted. At that point, I was like, it's not happening. They just, they left me on red. You know what I mean? It's that best friend that just leaves you sitting there like, oh, hey, you want to go out tonight? And they just never respond. You call and they say, oh, yeah, sure. But they don't ever actually follow through. So I was like, it's not happening. Then an hour later.
My best friend always calls me back.
Well, I'll tell you now who did call me back today, much like your best friend. It was my boy Ryan who gave us the tour on Saturday. He said, yeah, I told you 15 months then. I talked to my big boy boss and he said, we'll honor that. And I said, okay, great. So can we do it for one that I didn't even mention on Saturday? Awesome. I'm going to have this one and this one. Can you send me the quotes and I will get them signed as soon as I talk to the other person that matters in this case. So we haven't signed anything yet. And even if we did, I wouldn't tell you that because you don't even know that. But shows persistence will get you ahead and asking nicely. Don't be annoying about it, but be persistent and always be kind. And maybe you'll get an extra 3 months on the lease.
I think to end this podcast, unrelated to anything you just said, I think that to end this podcast,
well then you know what?
You should tell me when you're gonna propose.
Yeah, the podcast that said person that we would be speaking about religiously watches.
But she would have to get to the very end.
Yeah, but she doesn't get to know that.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
get to know that.
But
no,
we could talk about it.
No, you don't get to know that. She doesn't get to know that.
You could tell me.
You know?
I'm so nosy. I just want to
could.
know.
Yeah, but no. I got to keep her on her toes.
Okay, but could you tell me?
But like, please. But like,
okay,
please,
but
like,
you
maybe,
could
no.
tell me.
Yeah, but I got to keep you
and
on
I
your toes.
can help you keep her on her toes.
Yeah, but you know this whole thing called women talk to one another?
I would never tell her.
And also, well, the thing is, she said the exact same thing, and every single time she's tried to hide a secret from me, it's come out one way or another. It just, if you don't know, you can't even slip up and say anything that gives her a hint.
I would never give her a hint.
I never said that you would give her a hint. I said that you wouldn't
She
slip
wouldn't
up
even
and give her a
know
hint.
that I know.
But we're on a podcast, so yes, she would. It's not happening.
You can tell me after when we turn off the camera. Or you can tell me now. And you can
maybe,
put
possibly.
a black bar bleep out of it.
No, but how about this? Maybe I'll tell you after we do our high five. Ready? All right. Everybody,
you're not going to tell
me.
Stay
safe. Don't die. Oh,
Crazy. You don't have a player on your truck. I was at a loss for words the first time that we spoke. You're looking for a girl to treat you right.